Alright, we had a lot of nationals this weekend, and a lot of those events still going to be going. Tomorrow we're going to do an actual discussion about what comes out of the UK nationals and French nationals. But we have top 32 for Australia to talk about this morning, and kind of what's going to come out of that. So, top 32 will probably be beginning about the time this video goes up, but fun predictions nonetheless. So, let's talk about these events in terms of numbers so far, shall we? Alright, so if you've been watching and just hearing the general news across the board right now, there have been a lot of national championships this weekend. I believe Slovenia, Australia, France, and the UK all happening this weekend, which I'm surprised by some of these numbers actually. So, UK had about 700 players, which didn't really shock me all that much. I mean, it's the UK. We know how their numbers go. The fucking shocker was France. Evidently, France had pre-registration cap out at 900 players, which is amazing. Their record, from what I was told, was 700 players. I can't fact check that or anything. It was about 700, but so that's the record. They had 1,100 players in attendance for the French national championship. I'm going to clap my hands for that, because seeing numbers and things growing in these regions is always a good thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! And to see that France, of all fucking places, all of these players came together to play this game. That is fucking fantastic, and it proves that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a dead game. I don't know why we always have to go back to that previous point. The game is not fucking dead by any stretch of the imagination. It's summertime, players want to do things. We have a diverse format at the moment, so that's the big thing. So if you're a French Yu-Gi-Oh! Player and you want to represent, I'll press F's in the comment section, pay those respects. They absolutely deserve it for this event. So that caught my attention. French nationals pulling more numbers than Europe, alright, for the UK championship. That's fucking impressive to me. So congratulations to you guys. Fucking absolutely spectacular. So there's that. Those are the two big things. We still have top cut coming out of both events. Give it time, we'll get there. One thing I saw out of UK nationals, though, there's a feature match that particularly caught my interest. Well, first up, UK Nationals looks like it's in a school. Jokes aside, that was interesting to me. But one feature match in particular, also the angling they were doing, was pretty shit. I didn't like the zooming, but I guess they're trying to spice some things up. The fact that Pendulum versus Sky Striker going first this format, this feature match definitely brought it into perspective for me. It's just like, if you don't open up a good hand, you have to go Entei Shizuku. Every deck in this format just goes, draw for turn, blow you out. Denko Sekka is such a powerful card this format. It is ridiculous just how free it is. So that caught my attention, that while Sky Striker is sitting at the lowest of the four decks, I actually would argue that Solid's kind of in the same position as Sky Striker right now. I'm hearing that a lot more from people right now too. Unfortunately, we're just kind of at a point that where Solid and Sky Striker are holding that variance, but Thunder and Orcust is just checking these two decks so hard. And it's good to see that the format is still actually evolving. That's something else that caught my attention. This format, we might have solved it, but it goes to show that players are still trying things. And that level of diversity is what is making these decks be successful. Now, we have top 32 coming out of Australia. Now, I don't have anything beyond top 32 yet. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But top 32 is as follows. We have 12 copies of Orcust in top 32. Holy fuck. Alright. I talked about that Orcust was becoming the best deck after Sky Striker didn't win, and I made myself look like a giant fucking idiot. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't cry in front of you. I made myself look like an idiot. But, I mean, consistency numbers, Mystic Mind, Skyshark, it seemed good at the time, alright? But now, Orcust pulling this dominance, just because Orcust didn't win YCS Knoxville, doesn't mean, even in terms of numbers and representation, it's really pulling right now. But these ending boards that this deck is generating is pretty insane, actually. And consistency, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I've been asked what I think the next ban for Orcus is going to be. I still think they need to kill Mermaid, but Rusty is a interesting hit. If you don't kill Mermaid, you can go after Rusty. It's the Fogblade shenanigans that come off of the play that I think are just too splashable at this point. But we'll see how they approach that. We had 8 copies of Salamangreat. This doesn't really shock me. Alright, like, when it comes to the big fours numbers, it really just depends on the region. Salad's still very cheap. You put some Phantasmes in the deck, and you're good to go. That's literally how this works right now. So 8 Salad, 20 decks, by the way, out of top 32 in 2 columns here. Then we had 4 Sky Striker. Sky Striker representation is going down. I don't know. I think it's just players have started to figure out how to play against the deck. The deck's overall oomph has literally started to disappear. And, I mean, the deck is still good. Don't get me wrong. The Kagari hit was a very good call to take the deck from here down to here. We checked it and did what we did. But for the most part, holy shit, man. This deck is it's struggling now. It says something about the format that it's not on top anymore. And then we had 3 copies of Thunder Dragon. Now, from what I was told, now don't quote me on this, but I've heard that the regions across the pond are not a huge fan of Thunder. And not everybody's going to have a Chaos Armageddon Dragon over there. I think it's more of an American thing that everybody's just like, this goes here now. Now, with that information and what I've seen so far, it doesn't surprise me. I believe that Team Europe for ARG is playing Thunder. Don't quote me on that either, but that's something else I was told. So that's definitely something that caught my attention. Like, the players with, like, the scope of information, like, the go-to professional deck right now is definitely Thunder to try to break boards, which is interesting. But seeing only 3 copies of Thunder in top in Australia, though, particularly interesting to me, at least for that. But I guess right now Thunder's just really being our region thing. So we'll see where that goes. Now, the big bad one that really made me happy. We got a Madolche in top 32. It finally might happen. If fucking Madolche can play its best matchup. Queen Tiramisu is one of the best going second cards in the game right now. And I think Madolche, this is a stretch, but I think Madolche is more powerful, or more popular now than it was in 2014. Let that sink in for a moment. But this deck just breaks boards, and it's beautiful. Congratulations to the one Madolche player that made top 32. I am super ecstatic for you. I want to see this deck carry. Now, I was asked, actually, my predictions for the NAWCQ. Could we see Madolche? Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Especially top 32, probably not. Top 64 is definitely potential there. Now, we had an Infernoid. Infernoid's been a semi-popular deck across the European regions, actually for the regionals like Slovenia, Romania, things like that. It was popping up. I think it got a couple of top spots in a few of them, which, I mean, for the most part, shouldn't really shock anybody. I mean, deck's pretty good. Void Imagination, Imagination State, fucking fantastic card for what it's worth. We also had one Altergeist in top 32. It's Altergeist. I mean, the deck is very hit or miss. I think the deck still does what it needs to do, so I'm not disappointed in that. We had one Mech Knight invoked. What the fuck? Salad players, please play your columns correctly, or shenanigans are going to fucking happen. That's kind of how I feel is going to happen at that event. How's Mech Knight Invoke doing well? Well, you see, the Salad player set his trap behind his monster, and it wasn't a good time. So, there's that. Then we had one Lunalight. Okay, Lunalight's still a very good deck. It's definitely in the rogue section right now, and it is able to do stuff, which really piques my interest a lot because that deck was very Azathoth Turbo on the opponent's turn last format. It disappeared, and it's been showing up a little bit, but not as consistent as it needs to. So coming out of the Australian Nationals, I'm rooting for the Madolche player. Not because I'm fat and I like sweets, because I want to see the candy revolution. I mean, we can't drive chocolate mode prices up anymore, but it would definitely make me a fucking happy player if we got the chance to see fucking Madolche win a Nationals, especially Australia. So guys, what do you think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. We'll be back for another discussion Monday morning on the cleanup of this. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.